let's get right into it. Welcome to this explainer, where we're embarking on a truly fantastic journey across the pitch. Whether you're lacing up your boots for the absolute first time, or you're already an experienced winger looking to, break some ankles out there, mastering the 1v1 is literally the ultimate test of a footballer. We are going to map out an incredible progression of 40 football skill moves sourced directly from a comprehensive ranking that takes us from the absolute easiest maneuver all the way to the most dizzyingly complex tricks in the game.
Okay, let's dive into this. To make sense of all 40 skills, we'll progress through 4 stages: the fundamentals of 1v1, adding deception and stepovers, tight spaces and nutmegs, and finally, the elite elastico tier.
Starting off with Section 1, the fundamentals of 1v1, covering moves 1 to 10.
At this base level, honestly, you don't even need fancy footwork. It's all about simple physics and kinetic body shifts ruling the pitch. Notice the theme here? Move number 1 is literally just a change of speed. Then you've got cuts, the heavy shoulder drop, the fake kick, and the stop and go. Because these rely on sudden speed changes rather than complex ball dancing, these first 10 skills are the absolute perfect foundational moves for players just starting their training journey. You can easily master these at home with simple solo drills before you ever face a live defender.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how detail-oriented even the fundamentals are. When we look at moves 6 and 7, the stop and go, the mechanics completely change based on just a minor anatomical shift. For one, you're using the underside of your boot to abruptly halt the ball, and then exploding forward with the inside of your other foot. For the other variation, you do the exact same thing, but actually use the inside of your foot to stop it. It creates 2 entirely different rhythms, all from literally a millimeter of difference in foot placement. Kinda crazy, right?
Moving slightly up the difficulty ladder to move number 9, we hit a true classic, La Croqueta. It's just an incredibly elegant, fundamental solution. Picture this: you get to the ball first, and a defender is aggressively rushing in for a tackle. Well, you simply slide the ball right across your body with the inside of one foot to escape the tackle, and then immediately push it forward with the inside of the other foot. It's brilliant because it uses the defender's own aggression perfectly against them.
Moving into Section 2, adding deception and stepovers. This covers moves 11 to 20.
Now we enter this intermediate arsenal where players evolve from just reacting to actively playing with the defender's mind. This is where the game gets explosive. Just listen to the kinetic verbs defining these moves. You're chopping the ball in the explosive Ronaldo chop, or poking it past the defender in the classic push and go. You're bringing your foot around the front of the ball in a traditional step over, or dragging it across your body for the dragon step over. The whole shebang here is about making the defender believe you're committing to an action you have absolutely no intention of finishing.
Let's actually zoom in on a prime example of this mental warfare. Move 19, the 1.5 stepovers. Famously used by Kylian Mbappe when cutting inside, it is just 3 rapid-fire steps. He throws a quick step over one way, hits him with a small body feint the other way, and then, before the defender's brain can even process the sequence, he cuts hard back in his original direction. It completely freezes the opposition. It's a real game changer.
But here's a question you really have to ask yourself as a player. So you're throwing stepovers, you're dropping your shoulder, but what happens when you're trapped in the corner? What happens when simple fakes just aren't enough to break a stubborn defender's stance? Where do you go when the space simply disappears?
That brings us to Section 3, tight spaces and nutmegs, covering moves 21 to 34.
So the crucial point is, when the space disappears, you have to force them to open up. The moves in this tier require immense confidence. We've got the scoop turn, the highly rhythmic shaky dance, where you literally just dance your foot behind a still ball to confuse them, and of course a whole variety of nutmegs like the dragon meg and the temptin meg. What's absolutely fascinating here is that these moves deliberately bait the defender. You are actively encouraging them to step closer and lunge, purely so you can exploit that open gap right between their legs.
Let's walk through move 26, the fake Rabanoa, to see exactly how you manipulate momentum. Imagine you're flying down the wing. The ball is rolling. You run up as if you're about to cross it, planting your foot hard next to the ball. Naturally, the defender braces to block the cross, but instead, you sweep your other foot behind your planted leg and casually stop the ball dead with the top of that back foot. The defender just goes flying past you, entirely beaten by their own momentum. Smooth, right?
Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 4, the elite elastico tier, looking at moves 35 to 40.
These final moves represent the absolute peak of 1v1 difficulty. But before we look at these boss-level variations, we need to define their foundation, the elastico. This is move 31 on our list. It requires pushing the ball one way with the outside of the foot, then instantly wrapping that same foot around the ball to push it the opposite way with the inside. It's a rapid single-foot manipulation that requires incredible flexibility and touch. And as you'll see in this final tier, this move gets seriously supercharged.
Yep, the elastico gets taken to a whole new level here. We have the outside elastico using the heel and toe. The elastico meg that ends directly through the defender's legs. The forward elastico. The totally mind-bending double elastico. And of course, the audacious rainbow flick. These moves take that basic elastico mechanic and layer it with complex double touches, aerial flicks, and immediate nutmegs.
To truly appreciate the difficulty here, let's detail move 39, the Ronaldo phenomenon. This requires 3 distinct, perfectly orchestrated touches in literally a fraction of a second. First, use the underside of your foot to pull the ball back toward your standing foot. Second, use the inside of that standing foot to immediately hit the ball forward. And finally, your original foot comes back down to push the ball past the defender. It is a beautiful, impossibly fast sequence.
Now, what's really interesting about this is we've finally reached the summit. Move 40, the hocus pocus, the absolute most difficult move on the entire list. You bring one foot in front of the ball, use the inside of your other foot to push the ball behind your standing leg, and finally use the top of that same foot to push it past your standing leg and the defender. You are essentially manipulating the ball blindly behind your own body while facing down an opponent. It's pure magic, no way around it.
But after mapping out all 40 of these incredible moves, I want to leave you with a provocative thought. Skill 1 or Skill 40? Which one actually beats the defender? Does the dizzying, blind difficulty of the hocus pocus make it inherently better on the pitch than the very first, most fundamental move on our list?
Well, the source text leaves us with this really powerful reminder about move number 1. A simple change of speed is, and I quote, one of the most simple and effective skills in all of football. All you really do is push the ball past the defender and run. So whether you're utilizing heavy shoulder drops or attempting a blind hocus pocus, remember that every move on this tree exists simply to create an advantage. Sometimes pure, unadulterated simplicity is the ultimate weapon. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. As you map out your own training journey, ask yourself, which move on this tree will you master next?